enthusiasts and crypto adventurers. Welcome to the 7th Learn Livestream session. I'm your host for today. I'm Sabrina, and today we're exploring a fascinating phenomenon that's taking the gaming and blockchain community by storm: the rise of tap to earn games. We'll dive into how these games are not just about tapping for tokens, but are revolutionizing our approach to gaming economies. Get ready to discover the mechanics, success stories, and the bright future of tap to earn. This live stream is available on both the Bybit app and Bybit web, but as usual, for the best interactive experience possible, do join us on Bybit web, where you can ask all of your burning questions. Now, before I introduce our panelists, if you would like to earn some rewards, we do have a pop quiz that you can answer. Just scroll down, answer 5 simple questions, and if you're the first 100 to do so, you can walk away with a share of the 500 USDT prize pool. And of course, be sure to like this video and share the stream out so that more people can tune in to our discussion on Tap to Earn games. Now, let's meet our esteemed panelists who will help us navigate today's topics. First up, we have GZ, Head of Gaming at Mental.
Hello.
Hey, GZ. Thanks for joining us. Could you please give us a short introduction of yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so my actual name is Grant. I just don't use that name because people think I'm money and not a real person. So GZ from now on. But yeah, I come from the Web2 games industry. I ran and led publishing teams for big games like League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, Ragnarok, and some more casual games like Rodeo Stampede and Crossy Road. Usually head of user acquisition or head of gaming operations, and have overall touched and reached over 800 million players from around the world. Since then, decided to kind of enter the Web3 gaming space, led and published and also advised on several Web3 games, including, I think, one of the first real big Telegram mini games out there called Catizen. And through supporting them both through myself and through the Mantle ecosystem, where we've seen quite a few pretty good successes, and hope to continue really seeing more, I guess, down the road.
Thanks, GZ. That's definitely a long list of experience. I too have also taken a look at the Catizen game. Excited to hear more about your perspective into this industry. Right, and next up we have Web3 enthusiast, Dirk.
Hi guys.
Hi again, Dirk. Welcome
GM.
back.
GM from Brussels at the moment. How are you?
Hi, back. I'm great. Hope you're doing fine as well.
Yes, I can give a short introduction for the people that are not familiar with me.
Sure.
My name is Dirk. I'm the Bybit Web3 evangelist at Bybit, and I'm in the crypto space since, I would say, 2017, 2018. First part from the investing side, but later also participating in building projects, working for Bybit, and of course here and there some degening sometimes. Very happy to be here today.
Thank you, Dirk, and a warm welcome to the both of you, and thanks for joining us today. For those of you who are just joining our live stream, if you would like to earn some rewards, we do have a pop quiz that you can answer to claim your share of the 500 USDT prize pool. And don't forget to share our live stream out and also spam that like button if you are enjoying what you're seeing. Right, let's start at the beginning. So crypto gaming has come a long way, right? From the early days of farm to earn games where players cultivate virtual farms for rewards, to play to earn models like Axie Infinity that combine strategy and economics. Now we're seeing a surge in tap to earn games, where simple taps on your screen can lead to real crypto earnings. These games are designed with a casual player in mind, making them accessible to anyone with a smartphone. Adding to this user-friendly approach, platforms like Telegram have significantly enhanced the gaming experience by introducing a mini app bar. So this new feature allows users to seamlessly switch between games without ever leaving the chat interface, which streamlines gameplay and keeps players engaged for much longer. So can you guys share how tap to earn games compare to earlier gaming models in terms of player engagement? Maybe GZ, would you like to share first?
Yeah, so tap to earn games right now, there's a really large resurgence of them, and a lot of these teams have been reached out to me and given our kind of involvement in Kazan, and so despite what we see and the large amount that's already in the market, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, more in development and on the way. So, but the model that we see so far is honestly not something very new to the gaming industry. Tap idle games, or before we just call them idle games, where tapping is a mechanic where you can earn from or to kind of grow and progress through the game. This kind of game has already existed probably for about at least 10, 15 years as of today. But one of the kind of unique elements for tap to earn games is that now instead of just growing and growing your character or growing your own in-game assets, you're actually able to convert some of these in-game assets at a certain proportion through certain mechanisms into real cryptocurrencies, which actually have value in the real world and can be off-ramped through various different exchanges like Bybit. And so yeah, this is I think one of the big differences that's involved. But the typical gameplay progression, especially for the general tap to earn games that we see today, are very, very familiar for anyone that has been playing mobile games or have seen kind of mobile games industry. So a lot of the optimal ways to grow your characters or a lot of these strategies are honestly already pretty well known and available right now. It just need to know what kind of keywords to use to find them.
So would you say that it's pretty easy for players to just join these games, like start playing these games with the aspect of earning?
I wouldn't say it would be easy to earn. It's very easy to play from these games. It's very easy to get started. You just need to open a bot on your Telegram account and start tapping away, or start merging away, or start, it could be a match 3 game where you're matching away. But whatever the kind of core game mechanism is, one of the kind of, I think, very unique and really exciting factors for why this has been growing so quickly is because the onboarding process is extremely simple. It's not a kind of it's already kind of moved away from the original kind of Ponzi-nomics where it forces you to buy an NFT or spend some money in the game first to be able to start getting involved into the earning aspects of it. It's really just a hyper casual game that's already proven to be fun before, and now they added a tokenomics layer on top of it. So these hyper casual games are all designed really, or the successful ones at least, are all designed to be very easy to pick up and really very intuitive for players to get involved in the beginning. Earning takes time. It takes calculation, and it takes a lot of understanding of the base mechanisms of the game. And that's something we can go into a little bit later on. But I would definitely caution against the idea of thinking that earning is very easy inside games like these.
All right, thanks. And maybe Dirk, from your experience, what elements of gameplay do you find most enjoyable in tap to earn games?
First of all, I completely agree what Yeezy mentioned as well, that I think in the previous cycles you had the play to earn, but you always needed like to buy an NFT or to buy like in-game purchases, which basically made it more complicated for Web2 users to onboard in Web3. And I think in the end we are here, right, to onboard Web2 users in Web3. And if you, for example, have a very good game and you want people to play the game, that it makes it more complicated if you also need to buy like an NFT and need to implement the NFT and you need to approve the NFT. I think that process is way more simplified right now with the tap to earn. So I think that's something interesting that we are seeing right now. Besides that, I think that with, for example, we have seen Notcoin, I think, as one of the biggest so far. You can see that like it was like a competition between different groups, and there were like bonus tokens and stuff. And I don't know, it hyped really up, and they made it like a sort of competition. And I think that was a very good aspect what they did very well.
I think it's definitely interesting, right? It's like a fresh take for these tap to earn games. Like GZ said, this model has actually tapping games have been around for a long time, but with the fresh take of being able to earn assets without having to, like you said, buy any NFT before starting, would actually help to onboard more Web2 users into the crypto space, right? And
Correct.
what impact do you think these games have on the perception of cryptocurrency?
To be honest, before this, because I'm always like just my honest opinion without filter. Before this, I was thinking, okay, what's the real use case of gamify, right? Why are we combining crypto together with gaming? But for example, there's like a game, it's called RuneScape. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but it was very big like back in the days. And if you had like, for example, a rare item, right? For example, you had like a legendary sword, or I'm just naming something right now, and you wanted to sell that item, like resell to someone. In the beginning, you need to sell like your whole account on eBay and that kind of stuff. And it was the same with Counter-Strike, I think, back in the days. Steam, of course, came with a very good solution with that. But I think that there is like a good way for implementing crypto and NFTs on the blockchain with gaming, because you can transfer like items or in-game purchases, or you can see, okay, who's the real owner for this. I think there is definitely a future for that, but I haven't seen anything very smooth so far, of course, because we're like in the beginning stage, but it's very good to see that a lot of projects are trying to build on this.
Yeah, like GZ said, there are hundreds or if not thousands in the making, right?
Exactly.
What do you think, GZ?
Oh, I just wanted to add on, like, I think, Dirk bringing up the idea of RuneScape is amazing. It just really shows he understands the space. It's not just someone coming, I think, from a purely DeFi perspective. RuneScape is definitely one of those games where, honestly, probably where one of the first, if not the first kind of play to earn models actually began. Play to earn, yes, we started calling it play to earn and stuff like that when based on kind of the Axie Infinity era. But the idea of earning by playing video games has existed probably as early as the RuneScape days. I remember when playing a game called Maple Story, where I was selling bandanas for 50 to 60 US dollars per cap, and at the time the experience was terrible. Like we were able to farm and create these really expensive in-game assets called like these plus 10 bandanas. But in order to be able to really efficiently sell it to someone else, we literally had to like either find the person in person and hand cash and do cash deals. And then one person would be spamming Z to pick it up, then the other person would drop it so that it doesn't go to someone else that picks it up or like, hacks it out of you. And all these kind of things made it very risky or very also discouraging for players to want to actually trade. And if you don't want to actually trade these assets, it's very hard to give them real life value. Eventually, we found more other models, more and more efficient, but I think now that we have kind of blockchain technology implemented, it has become the most efficient that it has ever become and the most secure that has ever become to be able to efficiently trade with other players. And given that, we are now allowed to assign or more comfortably assign real value to these assets. And yeah, I mean, given that, I do have a pretty positive outlook for where this is going.
All right, thanks, GZ. You guys talking about RuneScape and Maple Story really just unlocked core memories for me. I'm sure the audience would also feel the same if you've played RuneScape and Maple Story. It was so difficult to trade back then. Like you said, it's very risky as well. Right, so thank you for those insights. As we transition to our next topic, audience, remember to engage with us through the live chat. Send us your questions, or you can even just share your experiences with Tap to Earn games, or you can even talk about, whether you agree whether Maple Story and RuneScape was very difficult to trade last time. And let's just take a look at some of the questions first before we dive into the mechanics of these innovative games. Okay. So someone actually asked, how do you see the future of the tap to earn system? I suppose they're asking more about the sustainability of the tap to earn model. GZ, would you like to take this first?
Yeah, sure. To be very upfront, I think that there's going to be several big innovations that need to happen, or else the tap to earn kind of industry is going to die. Because right now, I think there's such a large user base, and there's so little there's only a couple of I think really big projects out there, whether it's Catizen or Hamster Combat or I think maybe one or two. There's room for maybe one or two big projects that have a similar mechanic to come out. But as soon as as I mentioned, like thousands of these things start emerging, and everyone is doing the same thing and approaching it the same way, we won't actually be able to see a sustainable kind of model because you're suddenly fragmenting all these users to all these different platforms, and with less users per game, that means less revenues that they can aggregate and also reallocate back to the users, so players will be earning less. So I think one of the important parts of the kind of future outlooks, and one of the things I'm seeing a lot in the kind of Telegram games industry, is to innovate upon the tap to earn model. Instead of calling it tap to earn, they might start calling it new names, but most importantly, they might start adding in different game mechanics to most importantly, add Sybil resistance naturally through the gameplay. So instead of, right now, I think tap to earn, a lot of times when you're tapping the game, you can get a bot to do it, you can get a enhanced device to do it, and it's very hard to actually gauge. Well, we know, but it's probably not very good for a public to, or easy for the public to know what percent of these users are actually bots and how many users are you competing with against bots, right? But once you have built-in difficulty into a game, or as these built-in logical issues into the game, more game theory implemented to the gameplay, it becomes much more difficult for bots to be able to interact and to be able to actually compete for different airdrops. And at that point, it becomes a lot more sustainable because for users, since real people are getting the actual earnings and real people are going to be retained and coming back to playing a game rather than going into through bots into a very select few players. So yeah, I think some pretty big innovations are, at least not I think, I know that some pretty big innovations are coming in place, and is some that I'm very, very bullish on.
And Dirk, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think the good thing about the tap to earn is that there is I would say Ponzi model right now involved, that the more early you are, that the more rewards you get, and I think that's something that we love in crypto. I mean, if we look back in 2021 with all the Ponzi farms and the place, it was very nice. So I see some potential there. So yeah, I totally agree, but I'm not sure, since it's still very young though. It's pretty new. And there are a lot of people trying to do it right now. So it's always interesting in the crypto space to see, okay, how will this develop and where are we going? I think it's a very interesting meta, and I think we can go through a lot of ways. So yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Dirk. And here's another question. Can you compare the play to earn market with the tap to earn market? How does it differ?
No, I don't think so. And why is that? Because for the play to earn, you need at least, for example, a smooth mobile device. And why is that? Because you need, of course, maybe new phone or something like that, or a PC. And with a tap to earn, basically the only thing that you need is Telegram mostly, right? If we are talking about the ton integrations, you only need a phone with Telegram, which not requires a very high. They were pretty aggressive when it comes down to data. They were pretty aggressive when it comes down to the gigabytes to download the game. So I think the tap to earn is way more accessible for all the people around the world.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeezy?
Yeah, I wanted to add that I think tap to earn, honestly, it's what it really should be called is hyper casual to earn, but hyper casual to earn sounds terrible and it's just not a real catchphrase.
Yeah.
What we really want to say is easy onboarding for simple, easy onboarding, simple gameplay to get people involved, low device specs, low hardware requirement, and that's really where what I think tap to earn is trying to really convey, or that's at least what we've been trying to convey by pushing out the idea of tap to earn games. And in terms of that, yeah, exactly as Dirk said, there's a much lower device requirement, much lower resource cost to get involved, much easier barriers of entry compared to traditional play to earn games, especially the super hardcore ones where you have to download a 25 gigabyte game package and then also have a like 5G internet hyperfiber connection to be able to really be able to compete. Instead of that, it is some very simple, easy onboarding and low device spec. My regarding the kind of this type of gameplay, there is so much different types of gameplays available. A lot of them do involve tapping, but a lot of them can be a little bit more complex than just tapping, but still be easy and simple on board. In terms of kind of both about sustainability and all in terms of the kind of future outlook about this, is that we do already have a model or at least a blueprint in place for something much more that's already very successful, and that's WeChat mini games, which is coming from the Chinese game market, launched back in 2017. We saw over 300 million users across this. And there are certain games on the WeChat mini games platform that have been running for 6 years, generated billions of dollars, and still see continuous users coming back to it. Now, if we imagine a tap to earn game where we generate $6 billion, we maybe give back another, like give $3-4 billion back to the users to help kind of grow the economy, help continuously drive excitement for their project, then it may not just last 5 years. We may be able to get a game to last 10, 15, for until the end of time, or at least until money stops being exciting, which honestly is probably never, right? So I think given this kind of mechanic and given this outlook, we can we already have something that's very very exciting and shown to be sustainable and monetizable in place, and we have something that we can add on top of it, which is the earning aspect that allows this game to last even longer and generate even more success over the long run.
All right, thanks guys for sharing. Audience, keep those questions coming. Don't worry if your questions are not picked yet. We will answer questions along the way, and we also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. So yeah, just keep firing those questions our way. Right, now moving on, let's dissect the mechanics behind tap to earn games. So these games are brilliantly simple, yet incredibly engaging, allowing players to earn real cryptocurrency through minimal actions like tapping or swiping. So, in this segment, we'll explore the inner workings of these games and focus on how they maintain player interest and manage economic balance. So, GZ, what should new players know about the mechanics of tap to earn games?
Yes. One thing I think is very important to understand is that behind these games, no matter how much that they talk about earning and stuff like that, is a business. And when it comes to a business, it means that their goal is also to make money. Their goal is to make money and monetize. It doesn't always have to come from the users, but it doesn't have to be coming directly from the users. But one of the ways that they're able to monetize potentially is to be able to sell kind of user data or basically do ads and be able to share sponsorships, share kind of ad revenues and stuff like that based on the amount of users they have. So one of the things that would really help in terms of growing the tap to earn kind of or sorry, you take a step back. So for them to be able to generate or be able to give revenues or give something for players to earn, they need to generate revenue first. And so that's why you'll see that in the game design, there's always going to be quests involved. There's always going to be different kind of tasks or like daily check-in and activities involved. And most of these, the main goal behind them is to, one, prove they have real users so that they can go and get bigger sponsorships and ads from a business perspective. Two, be able to use tasks like referrals and social media amplification to be able to draw more users in. And three is, maybe spending tasks where it asks you to actually spend money inside the game. All three of these generate value for the ecosystem. And if you accomplish these tasks, then you will be generating value for them. They will recognize you as a valuable user and they want to retain you. And to retain you usually means giving some type of airdrops. So for tap to earn games, one of the most important parts of actually being able to earn from the game is not actually playing or tapping away, but actually accomplishing all the different tasks and side quests that are part of the game, because then you become someone valuable to them. And then to be able to keep you around, they will be giving you airdrops and giving you different ways to keep you inside their ecosystem.
Right. And Dirk, do you have anything to add? GZ, you also sort of like mentioned that this is one of your tips on how to maximize earnings in these games, right? So, Dirk, do you have any other tips you would give?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What tips do you have for maximizing earnings for these kinds of games?
Referrals. I think the referral system is a very good thing. When you come early in the game, we have seen this very good with Notcoin. I would explain how Notcoin did it. Notcoin did it that you can basically register your own Telegram group as like a sort of a clan, I would say, and you can tap together, you can boost it together, and with that you can invite other people to your group, and you would boost the rewards, which is very good because the whole crypto space is around all those Telegram chats with people in it, with sharing information about crypto, and especially being early. So what we have seen after Notcoin is a lot of people try to fork it, of course, and we've seen amazing referral systems, because that's the whole part of crypto, that when you invite someone else, that the other people also make money and you make more money. So I think that's a very good system. So yeah, I would say referrals for sure.
Right. So do you guys think that tap to earn games mostly rely on word of mouth marketing? For usual games, you can sort of see on the App Store the rankings of them and you can try to download them, right? So how do people find out about new tap to earn games? Do they just follow the news or Twitter, or do you have to join communities?
Yeah, I think it goes very organic in crypto. I guess, at least that's my opinion. And why is that? Because I think the crypto space is very actually small. Like, if you see something on Twitter, it gets a lot of engagement. People are sending it to each other, and then I think most people are aware of it. So I think the marketing usually speaks for itself, but of course, this is my honest opinion, that in crypto, trends don't last that long. We have seen that in the last 2 cycles as well, and also this is a trend, and right now it's very hot, but there is a time coming when the protocols itself are not able anymore to give good rewards, and that will not incentivize users to keep playing the game. So I think that's something interesting, but for now it works, and that's good to see, and it actually lasts pretty long. I mean, Notcoin was already live, I think, last year or something, when tapping. I think, yeah, that's interesting.
GZ, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I don't want to sound too elitist on this one, but traditionally, play-to-earn games have had a huge problem in terms of user acquisition, but that's just because a lot of them were not run by game publishers. Most of these play-to-earn games, you look at their founders and their backgrounds. It's some professional gaming investor that really knows how to invest in games, or some DeFi expert or some financial expert that came from Goldman Sachs and really knows their finances, but they never really ran and published games, in their experience. But then when you see a team, or even myself, where we are experienced in like running CADs and experienced in publishing games in the Web2 space, know how to grow a community, know how to built in the referral system and built in the actual game design, a way for natural organic growth of the game, and for referrals, for social amplification, for getting involved into different algorithms, whether it's Twitter's algorithm, the App Store algorithms, or even Telegram. Despite being a little immature in the side, they still also have their own kind of algorithms to be able to figure out what kind of projects they push to different players. And once you actually take that experience and a team with that experience, then it is, I think, not surprising to see the results that we saw with Kazan. Within the first 9 days of launch, we got about 21 million players and generated millions in revenues that we're planning to give back to the players through our first A launch. But these kind of techniques, honestly, haven't really changed too much. We definitely have some more tools that we're able to implement, and how to do some adaptations to our original kind of user acquisition strategies. But overall, the fundamentals haven't really changed that much. It's just the experience hasn't really come into the industry yet, until I guess more recently.
And could you maybe share how the rewards are typically distributed in these kinds of games? For example, like Edison, would you be able to share?
Yeah, so I don't want to give the specifics, but I can tell you right now the team is going to be allocating almost 100% of the revenues that they've generated so far back to the community. Main reason behind them being able to do so is because the business is actually not expecting to make money from users. The business idea or the commercial terms behind Kazan is actually to make money from third-party developers, from developers that want to gain access to the Kazan user base. Within Kazan, we have users spending up to $30,000 inside the game. This is a user willing to spend $30,000 inside a silly little cat game. Imagine what they can do in something with a much deeper engagement funnel, or a DeFi protocol where there's so much more kind of payment options for the user to do. And so right now, Kazan already has about 1,000 to 2,000 projects lined up to work with Kazan to airdrop their tokens to Kazan users, for just to be able to have a chance to gain access to the Kazan team. And for us, a lot of our revenues will be generated, or at least for Kazan, a lot of revenues will be generated from these third-party projects. And for that reason, a big part of what we're doing with Kazan is putting a lot of the revenues that we got, and even a lot of the kind of initial investments that we've earned from our investors, into the hands of our users, because that is not actually where we're expecting to make most revenues anyways. In terms of how the distribution gets put out, there's really two things that we put out so far. The first is the WCADI token, which was the first launch pool. In the future, you're going to get a lot more launch pools at a Kazan user, and each launch pool will be from tokens from different ecosystems or different games. And I think MNT, so Mantle, we're going to be putting a pretty big launch pool soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, with each season, we're going to be putting in different launch pools. The first one was for the WCADI. WCADI is a point system. It will be exchanged for the CADI token upon CADI tokens TGE. So and for people who were participated in the launch pool, or participate in any of the launch pools, you will get the WCADI token, which will be able to exchange for CADI, and then CADI will be listed on all the major exchanges, for sure listed on Bybit. So you can trade it for USDC, USDT, MNT. You can trade for whatever you want once you bring it over to Bybit.
Great. I'll definitely keep that in mind since I am a Katizen player. All right. Could you guys share tips on how to, sort of like choose to tap their games to make sure that you don't get scammed? Because in crypto, scams are quite prevalent, and like Dirk said, a lot of the marketing for these games is more organic. So
Yes.
yeah, do you have any tips? Maybe Dirk, you would like to go first?
Yeah, for sure. For all the people that are listening right now, I think when someone approaches you to play their game or to get rewards or something like that, it's 99 out of 100 times a scam. So if someone approaches you on Telegram, ignore it. You also have a setting on Telegram that you cannot edit in random groups. I think this is also a very important setting, because they basically copy paste Telegram groups or bots, or name whatever. What for me is important is, okay, who are the backers? Like, who are the VCs, who are the venture capitalists who already funded them? How well connected are they? Who's following them on X? Like, okay, is there maybe any big, good KOLs onboarded, or maybe VCs or advisory firms, where I think, okay, these guys have like a good understanding about how the market works, and based on that, I choose, okay, this might be worth to farm it.
All right, thanks. What about you, GZ?
I mean, Dirk said some pretty amazing stuff that I completely agree with. Do check the backers. Do check who's the people that are running these actual kind of games behind it, and if they're able to secure investments from Bitcraft, Delphi, notable gaming investors, Spartan, Marana, Mantle. They probably have. We do a lot of due diligence before we invest in one of these games. We find a team, we dox the team, we look at their background, we experiment, test their games. Like, from an investor's perspective, we are there to, in a way, to actually protect you guys, to make sure that these kind of scammy projects don't go to market or don't get enough funding to go to market. So in that sense, it is looking at investors or looking at backers is a very important part of it. I'll focus more on the more consumer side. On the consumer side, I think it's you really need to do your own research. I think any user, before going out there, before putting any, like, connecting a wallet to some game that asks you to connect a wallet, or before going and checking, making your first payment inside of a game that you think may be able to, that you're having fun with, do check out in terms of what the gameplay is, what the people are saying about it, and not just any people, notable figures, people that actually may be playing the game, that actually are recommending a game for you. As Dirk said, never click on a link on some private chat or some DMs. It's usually you want to look at public messages, official websites, double check the URL. I think Kazins.ai is the Kazin website. Kazin.com, Kazin.xyz, Kazin.fun, Kazin. Whatever it is not our official website. You might get linked to it. You will get scammed if you go to the wrong one. So everything about, like, it is a really do your own research type of perspective. If there is a chance for users to make money, the chance for users to earn, there's always also a chance for projects to scam. And so
Yes.
it is something where you have to be extremely careful about.
I would like to tap on this, because I actually got scammed for the first time in 5 years in crypto 2 days ago, and I will explain you how it did. On Telegram, you also have like Telegram bots, right? If you send, for example, Solana to that wallet, then you can basically buy and sell tokens from your Telegram. So I was using a bot, but I needed like another bot, like for another account. So I was doing? I was like going to the other account, and I was typing in the name of the bot, but I didn't check, okay, is it exactly the same as the one I was already using it? Like, it was an exact copy of one. And then they asked me like to send Solana to an address, and I sent some Solana, luckily not that much. And then I found out, this is not my wallet. And then I was thinking, oh, I'm getting scammed like for the first time in 5 years, when I'm usually like very aware about, okay, how these scams work, double check everything, the address, the URL, exactly like you said. So always be aware, guys, because there are a lot of people with bad intentions also. active in this crypto space.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
100%. Actually, if we're gonna share being scam stories, it's not everyone is. No one's foolproof, man. Like I also got scammed recently on Telegram as well. It was this weird scam where, like a colleague or an investment of mine, where it's a project that I trust and is a team I trust, but the person ended up sending me a link, not sending a link, sending me a screenshot and saying, hey, like my Telegram account is not able to add people. Could you try and send me a screenshot of this for me to see if I can if you can see my profile? And so I was like, well, it's just sending him a screenshot and there's no information on that screenshot, so might as well. I sent it to him. My Telegram plus his Telegram both got so it turns out his Telegram got hacked. And then this is how they hack you. Apparently, a screenshot can give certain information that you're not supposed to give, and it ended up allowing my Telegram to hack, and then my Ton wallet got completely drained.
Oh, wow.
Fortunately,
Oh.
I don't really have too much on my. I didn't have too much on my Ton wallet. Everything was on my kind of Mantle wallet, MNT, super safe, because Catizen and everything is also launched on Mantle, and we do collaborate and everything. So not too bad, but it is something that I definitely want to be careful of, especially Telegram. I think it's a very it can be a pretty hostile environment. So if you're going to be playing mini games on Telegram, make sure you protect yourself. Use a couple of different wallets. Don't keep too much in your Ton wallet, or it's still probably easier to use the Ton wallet. But if you guys are open and considerate, play the game. Use your MetaMask. Use Mantle to play Catizen as well.
Wow, those sound like very painful lessons. Yeah, audience, just heed the advice. Just be careful. Maybe you can even try putting your assets in different wallets. That would probably help as well. Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys. Let's just take a look at the chat box for now, for just to take a look at some of the questions. So someone actually asked, are tap to earn games time consuming though? What do you guys think?
It depends.
If it's fun, it's not. Sorry.
Yeah, it depends how you farm it. I know, for example, some people who just like let their little nephew, for example, here's the phone, and just keep pressing on the phone, and then you farm, right? So yes, of course, it's time consuming, but I think there are a lot of things in the world right now which makes it more easy. The only comment I have.
Yeah, I find them fun. I find it mechanics interesting. I find, I'm always curious in terms of like what our designers did with the next cat. So every time I level up my cat, there's a new cat that was designed by our designers, and I'm always curious which the next one looks like. So I keep merging and keep tapping away, and it's like it's kind of its own. I guess entertainment is its own reward, and it's a nice time killer sometimes when I'm on a bus or I'm flying to another city or something like that. It is a pretty fun kind of way to kill some time. In that case, it doesn't feel time consuming. If I did treat it as a job though, or treat it as an earning machine where my kind of income depended on it, yeah, I would consider that very time consuming. But spending the time, setting your alarms, to optimize, I guess back to the idea of optimizing your earnings. There's certain quests that are time-based that might refresh every hour, refresh every 30 minutes. If you're truly dedicated to actually earning from these games, make sure you set those alarms, make sure you check in at every time that you need to claim all the kind of time sensitive rewards. And if you're able to level up faster than everyone else, then you get the largest share of the airdrops and you make the most amount.
Agree. So what anti-bot measures are in place to prevent auto tapping? Are there any at the moment?
Not really, actually. So
Not really.
not really. And even if we put in some anti-bot measures to so that make it a little bit more complex than tapping, so that you can't just tap, then they'll just make a bot that does whatever actions are necessary. So that's what I mean about this first generation of first generation of kind of Telegram mini games or Telegram hyper casual games. these few still work. I mean, Kazan, we're generating tens of millions of dollars in 90 days. I don't care if there's bots playing the game, as long as they're spending money in the game and helping provide a larger prize pool for our users, then sure, like I come and play this game. And we also have very specific mechanisms and designs to identify which are real users and which are generating actual real interactions with the game, and which kind of users are clearly just bots merging their cats every single day. So based on that, we make sure that our rewards are not being farmed or being distributed to these bots, but we're totally fine with them playing our game. If people want to do that, go for it. But yeah, so for kind of the short answer is that there is no real anti-tapping bot mechanism inside these games. It's because they're not actually that destructive to the game, or we also have a lot of great designs to make sure that they don't actually get any split any of the value of the real users. In the future, we're going to need some more anti-bot Sybil or anti-Sybil type of designs and built into the gaming mechanisms for Telegram gaming to be more sustainable. But that's a future type of thing that I don't think we have to worry about right now.
All right. And someone also asked, how much can I realistically earn playing tap to earn games?
That depends.
It depends
how many phones you have. Let's say it like that. I know people who get a very good airdrop. I think in crypto, and this is the beauty of crypto, if you work together with very smart people and you find out, okay, what's the best way to farm this airdrop, I think there's a lot of money to be made, yes. So I would advise everyone to step away from the lone wolf thing and operate in groups and try to find out together, okay, what's the best way to farm this airdrop, for sure.
All right, I'm going to go through an example with a bunch of fake numbers, because I'm not going to give these real confidential numbers. I also don't want to get killed by my team. But let's talk about Kazan. Kazan, we had our launch pool at 1.4 million users. 1.4 million users about 4 months in, 1 month into the game. At that point, we put out a launch pool of 8.5 billion WCADI tokens, or WCADIs, and we distributed WCADIs into two pools. I'll talk about the bigger pool, which is the 5.3 billion WCADI. Out of the 5.3 billion WCADI, it was distributed to players who staked their cats that were level 110 or above. And the higher level of the cat, you get the larger amount of the prize pool, the WCADI pool. From what I understand, the player who staked the highest level cat ended up getting, I think, almost about 4% of that prize pool themselves. So 4% of the prize pool is about 4% of 5.3 billion. Oh, not 5.3, 530 million WCADIs. They got 4% of it. How much is WCADI worth? That's the question. Well, I can't tell you exactly right now, but what I can say is at 1.4 million users at the time, let's say we generated about $8 million. That's not how much we actually generated. It is within that ballpark, but let's say we generate $8 million, and we're planning to allocate 100% of that back into the airdrops. So we're looking to allocate 4% of $8 million back into the 830 million WCADI tokens. So each token at that point could be worth or at least at that point, about 4% of 550 million would be worth about close to about $60,000. So meaning, if all those numbers were true, which they are not, at that point they would be worth about close to about 20 to 30 million dollars. Probably close to about $60,000. Now that was back when there was only 1.4 million users inside the game. As of today, there's close to almost 30 million users inside the game. And of the 30 million users, the amount of users that spent money and the amount that they spent has remained the ratio has remained the same, meaning instead of 1.4 million worth of revenues that were players worth of revenues distributing back to the players, we have 30 million players worth of revenues that we're distributing back to players. You can imagine how much bigger of a prize pool is. So you can also imagine how much more that $30,000 might actually be worth. But with that being said, that is really just the kind of a generalization of how to go through the calculations of what is earnable within one of these games. You need to use real numbers to be able to do it yourself. I'm not going to give those numbers out.
Yeah, so audience, it really differs for different projects as well. These are just arbitrary numbers, just really putting it out there once again. Yeah, all right. So just keep those questions coming. We'll answer more during the Q&A session. So yeah, let's just shine the spotlight on some standout tap-to-earn games that have captured the attention of players worldwide. So we'll look at how games like Notcoin and Hamster Combat and Citizen on Telegram have set benchmarks in the industry, where they drive both user engagement and financial success. So do you guys personally play tap-to-earn games? And if you do, which games do you play regularly and why?
I don't play any tap to earns. I played Notcoin. I did it well, but right now I not like have that much time left to just press on my phone. So no, at the moment I'm not like farming anything.
What about you, GZ? Other than
Well,
Citizen? Sure.
yeah, I kind of have to play Kazan, but I mean, it is fun enough that I'm enjoying it. I play a lot of Hamster Combat. I think Hamster Combat has done something really well as the theme. The idea of making your own hamster business and growing it, and going out and doing marketing for your business and going out and doing whatever it is, and all starting from that little coin, I think it's really enjoyable. I can be very upfront that from a personal perspective, I am not expecting to make a return from playing Hamster Combat. I am purely playing it based on research purposes and because I just find it fun. And I find it really fun and addicting. So it is, from tap to earn perspective, yeah, I personally am not expecting to make any significant returns or earnings from playing the game, and I'm not recommending to play the game just because you want to earn from it. You want to have expectation of earning from it, but as a fun experience, I highly recommend it. I think it was a very fun experience.
All right. And what features do you think contribute to the success of a tap-to-earn game?
Good marketing.
Yeah,
a really good. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, good marketing for sure. I think in crypto, like everything comes down to marketing nowadays. We have seen what we have seen like in the past years as well is that if a project has very good marketing, but the product is not even live yet, then still it can do very well in terms of price action. And we have seen this, I think, also with some tap games. And then I usually think memes, interactive content, engage with other projects or engage like with the community, and make sure you reward the community, because if you can reward the community, then they will stay loyal at you. And I think that's key to build community.
And how do these games balance the challenge and reward for players? Because you don't want to make it too simple where the players get to earn the rewards so quickly and easily, but at the same time you don't want to make it too difficult because players will feel demotivated to actually try the game. So yeah, how do these games balance it?
So I mean, for Kazan and also Hamster Combat, like a big part of it is the calculations, and that's why I'm very careful in terms of giving away specific numbers, because a really big fun part of the games, at least for a lot of the players that I know, is optimizing every single purchase and every single action inside the game. Whether you're using fake in-game currency, using MNT, using TON to make purchases, the idea of like which purchase you should make at what time, when should you level up your cat, using what currency or what in-game currency should you use to level up your cat. These are all essentially kind of the simulation side of the game that makes it really fun to play. And the hardcore players that I know of, I know players that like have created these spreadsheets and algorithms to kind of dissect and reconstruct our own kind of game design algorithms to make it to better understand, how to actually spend their fish tokens, which is the in-game currency for Catizen, how to spend fish and where to spend fish on, and how to farm fish the fastest, and how to ensure they can get the most amount of caddy or airdrops from the game down the road. And these are like people like turning into mathematicians to be able to play a game, and some people really enjoy that. So I think that's a big area where it's this core game mechanic for these tap to earn or for these hyper casual Telegram games are very easy. You're just merging cats to make higher level cats, or you're tapping a hamster to get little coins. But the design behind it actually is so much more complex and takes so much. Took these developers so much time and real kind of tests and trials and simulations to be able to create the actual back end of these games. And that's something I think is naturally going to be very Sybil resistant and also offers a lot of gameplay for players to really enjoy the games themselves.
Thanks, Jeezy, for providing more of like a behind the scenes for our audience here. All right, we've covered a lot today, and now it's your chance to ask questions about your or share your experiences related to Tap to Earn games. Right, let's take a look at the chat box. So someone asked, is Tap to Earn here to stay? What do you guys think?
You want my honest opinion? I don't think so. I think it's a good trend right now, but why would people still be pressing buttons in 3 or 4 years? And this is the beauty of crypto. Like, I don't think this is a negative thing. I think this is a positive thing, because if like one door closed, always like another door open again, and there is no one like really, how do I say it? There is no negative sentiment like when, for example, a narrative dies, because then we move on like with all of each other to the next narrative, and that's the beauty of crypto, in my opinion. But I think there will be some games where it will be integrated. Like, but I don't think like the standard tap to earn. It's good for now, but let's see. I think narrative always come and go.
Jeezy, do you have anything to
I'm
add?
with Dirk on that. I completely agree. I think the current business model is not sustainable. It's as soon as the hamster combat token launches and all the people, if everyone got a ton of tokens, they're really happy and they dump them, the token price crashes. No one wants to play anymore. If no one got any tokens and the token price doesn't crash, but no one had any tokens, everyone's disappointed. No one's going to play anymore. So I think it's going to be. Like the developers right now, at least based on the narrative that was created, has put themselves in a relatively, not just hamster combat, I mean in general, this whole industry, everyone has put themselves in a little bit of a hard position in terms of if they give out too much, they die. If they don't give out too much, they also not die, but they also will suffer quite a bit. Catizen is a little bit unique. Because it is a project we're working on, and it is one that I've been really close with. It's unique that, again, it's not about its own tokens. Yes, its own tokens are going to be there for early supporters who are airdropping, but it's about a ecosystem of third-party projects putting their tokens on Catizen. We already have thousands of projects launching, and so from a user perspective, yes, maybe after the first token airdrop, users will be a little bit disappointed that this is all they got, and they won't play the game anymore. But then, as soon as they see, hey, there's another airdrop for another huge project coming in Kazan with your cats, and then another one next month, and then another one next month. Then suddenly people will realize, like, hey, if I keep playing these cats and I keep contributing to this ecosystem will keep drawing in great projects to recommend to me, and also give me airdrops for all these different great projects down the road, maybe an airdrop every month. Then they will keep this idea of, hey, why not stay in this game? And as long as I can keep getting airdrops, I'll keep getting users. And as long as I have these users, I can get more projects who want to airdrop their tokens to my users. So that's a little bit different of a business model than what is traditionally seen in, or what is kind of predominant in a lot of what other hyper casual or tap to earn games that are on Telegram right now. And so I'm not the most bullish on tap to earn games, but I'm still very, very bullish on Catazoo.
All right, thanks, Jeezy. All right, we have time for one more question. So someone actually asked, will tap to earn games come to WhatsApp in future, or will it just stay on Telegram? What do you guys think?
No, I don't think so. I think that Telegram is the gateway to onboard users because the whole crypto ecosystem is on Telegram, and WhatsApp is more for boomers. No, I wouldn't say that. Sorry, always for using WhatsApp, but I think crypto is really taking place in Telegram and not on WhatsApp.
Yeah. So WhatsApp, Facebook, we've tried it. We've launched mini games on Facebook, not on WhatsApp, but on Facebook before. And I can say something very clear is that Facebook doesn't get Web3. Just Facebook does not understand Web3. And given that Facebook and WhatsApp are really kind of under the same umbrella still, I think they are, or is it Microsoft? Whatever it is. Microsoft, Facebook, these guys don't understand Web3. And we don't want those users. We don't want to get involved with them because they're not going to be able to really interact properly with our ecosystem, and they'll probably be more of a detriment than actually add if we really brought in a good amount of users from those ecosystems. So given that, I don't think we'll ever want to really go and approach these ecosystems. Those users don't want to try our things, and there's a pretty big mismatch.
Right. Okay, and that's it for today. Thank you to our panelists, Jeezy and Dirk, for sharing your insights on the evolution of crypto gaming, and to our audience for your engaging questions. It's been great discussing the dynamic world of tap to earn games with you guys. We hope you've gained valuable insights and feel inspired to explore these games further. So today we explored the evolution of crypto gaming, from early farm to earn games to today's tap to earn models that allow players to earn crypto with simple taps on your smartphone screens. We discussed the significant role of platforms like Telegram in enhancing user experience through features like the mini app bar. Of course, please note that none of this is meant to be financial advice, and the topics discussed are purely for educational purposes. Remember whatever Jeezy said, those were all arbitrary numbers, right? Just putting it out there again. Okay, and thank you once again to our panelists and to you, our audience, for tuning in to today's insightful discussion on tap to earn games. For more information, please visit our Bybit Learn website, and don't forget to connect with all of us on social media. We also have some exciting news on Bybit. Hamster Combat recently launched on our Bybit pre-market trading platform, so definitely check that out. Let us know what are some topics that you would like to hear more of, and we'll see you at our next live stream. Keep a lookout on our social media platforms for more updates. Thanks again, and see you soon.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you.